Welcome to Talking Beards, an entertainment news podcast all about the facial hair lifestyle and the people who use their beards and mustaches to help change the world. Join your hosts, World Goatee Champion Aaron D. Johnston and two-time National Goatee Champion Scott Sikora as they talk about all the important issues in the community, from charity events, competition news, styling tips, breaking news, and much more. Tune in every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we stream live on all social media platforms as well as talkingbeards.com and answer all of your questions. Join in our chat room and be a part of the show each week as we give away great prizes, compliments of Honest Amish. I am your host, Aaron D. Johnston, and I am Scott Sikora, and we are Talking Beards.
Oh, hey! Yeah, what's up, everybody? This is Talking Beards, episode number something. I forgot to write it down. What was this, 193?
Hola, 194.
Talking Beards, episode number 194. And, we're getting close to that magical 200 number. We're probably going to do something spectacular for episode number 200. Probably. Anyway.
I love this next one is the best one.
Oh, my gosh.
Come on, do it. No, you skipped that one. Come on.
Two runs don't make a right.
Two runs don't make a right.
Two runs don't make a right. Yeah, so tonight we have the world famous Ron Wolek on the show. And at a last second edition, we have his senior, because apparently Ron Wolek is a junior. So we have two Rons.
Is that like
we're just
Dale
learning all
Earnhardt
kinds of stuff tonight on Talking Beards? But yeah, Ron's putting on a online contest. What's this thing called, Scott? It is the Holiday Beard Contest. Will be benefiting Detroit, Michigan's St. Nicholas Institute. And we're going to learn how to enter this online contest and see exactly how it works.
Oh,
I figured this was going to come. Look,
James Vanderbeek is here.
James Vanderbeek is here in the flesh. So, let's just get this thing started. I'm Aaron D. Johnston. I'm on this side of the screen, and I'll be doing this stuff all night. Go ahead, Scott.
And I'm Scott Sikora, and I'll be on this side of the screen doing this stuff on here. And what
We're going to be doing the same stuff.
You can imagine.
Did you just want to, the elephant in the room thing here?
Elephant in the room thing here?
Yeah, so I'm obviously not in my normal studio. I'm in the Orlando studios of Talking Beards. Why am I big?
So everyone can read what you imagine you can create.
Yeah, so I was just sitting here pre-showing stuff with Scott, and he just started saying that over and over. And I knew there was words back there, but I didn't read them. I just looked at them, and then I learned that I needed to read them. And then, as you can clearly see, Scott also has a cool sign behind him.
This whole time, I never even knew it was there on the wall.
You imagine. Oh, that's always been there.
Yeah, it's always been there.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I chose this room because it had this cool little catchphrase on the wall.
I chose this room because it had this little catchphrase on the wall.
And that's the reason you picked an apartment. This is amazing. We got Blake Senior in the house tonight. Oh, hey, Blake Senior, all the way from Australia. It is 12:05 over there.
Blake made a prediction that did not come true last week. Did
he say you were going to win the lottery or something?
He said I was going to win, and I was going to make you look like a little girl.
I'm not a little girl.
Andrew wants to know what's in the box on your bed.
This one.
Tricks?
Cereal. Tricks are for kids.
Are we sponsored by Tricks now?
Apparently. No, I needed something to write on because my area here isn't very large and I don't have my desk. So I was using this as to write stuff on, but it didn't work. So we got this. We got notes. Yep. We're super professional over here, all Scott.
Right. So as we're super professional, once again, I'm Scott Sikora. Welcome to Talking Beards. This is the lowdown for the show. We'd like for you to partake in the chat room with us, which you can do over at the Talking Beards Facebook page, YouTube page, Twitter page, and Twitch page. if you want, you can come over and have fun with us there and everyone else that's in the chat room. Or if you're anti, what is that, social media, you can just go to talkingbeards.com. The show is being streamed live over there. No commercials, commercial free. Can you believe that? And you don't have to worry about dealing with other people in the chat room. But that's if you
don't
want.
Forget about this. Blake is he loves this one. So
Blake,
Spotify.
He loves us on Spotify. Even though we're not live on Spotify, we will be up there at the end of the week.
He loves hearing this on Spotify at the end of the week, Scott. It's because he's in the future. Maybe we are already on Spotify.
Maybe we are, Aaron.
I don't know. What else you got going on, Scott Secor, the Beercaster? Did you do anything fun and exciting this weekend?
I did, and it did involve some of this, actually.
What?
It involved Honest Amish, because, of course, everything we do every weekend involves Honest Amish, of course.
It does.
And as we're getting ready for the holidays here in Talking Beards land and everywhere across the country and the world, if you're looking for a really great product to give to your favorite bearded man or a woman who needs some soap or some salve or some chapstick or something really cool.
It's lip balm. We don't have chapstick.
Shut up, Aaron. You're right. You don't have that. And that's just me being wrong. And I admit when I'm wrong, but you know what I'm not wrong about? Using promo code Talking Beards to get 15% off your order.
At honestamish.com.
And
would you say all orders over $35 is free shipping?
They are $35. All orders over $35 are free shop.
That's amazing.
I can't even say it.
You got it.
I got it. You guys. But speaking of that, though, what wrapped up as well as another online competition was the Honest Amish November or No Shave November. Honest Amish, did what is there any updates on that yet? Or are you guys still going through everything?
So what we started doing is Monday we announced the chops winners, and today we announced the mustache winners, and I think tomorrow will be the women's craft, and then we'll go from there. So each day over the next 9 days will be a winner will be posted, and then on that 10th day, I'm going to post all 9 winners, and whichever one of those 9 winners gets the most likes will win that bag that I posted all over social media that I don't have readily available to take a picture of right now. But they'll be basically best in show. That's the way we'll do it. We'll run that online post for a couple of days, and whoever gets the most likes will get the bag, and then second and third will also get cool stuff. So everyone wins that, gets first, second, or third, or maybe top 5. Who knows? Maybe we'll do top 5 on a couple of these big categories. There was a large amount. Look at that. Well, there was a ton of people that registered for this competition that were full beard, and I don't know. Maybe that needs to be more than top 3 because there's a lot of good ones in there. But yeah, it's over, and we're just tallying the scores, as the kids say, and we'll post those up one a day on social media, and then we'll do something else. Who knows? But that's where we're at with the online Honest Amish.
Is that where we're at?
That's where we're at right now.
Yeah. So, but if you're as we're in the chat room, we're seeing if you are looking for the Talking Beards podcast, it is on absolutely every single podcast catcher there is. So all you got to do is whatever one you're using, just type in Talking Beards on it, and it will come up. Subscribe to it, and there's like 272 episodes you can choose from over there. So
did you see Eric Schote had a really good point?
What was that?
Are there really any winners in the chops category?
No, there are not. There's really never anyone, either that nor the whaler category. There's never really a winner.
That's right. I mean, if you don't have a goatee, then you're probably just basically second or third.
There we go. Jonathan Shield writes, "Thank you for taking a picture with your son Brock." And once again, we really wish that we had more really cool stuff that we could have given to him. Make sure you hit us up again next time you see us. Hopefully you're at the You Matter competition.
Jonathan will 100% be at You Matter, and Jonathan, we'll have more cool stuff to give your son at You Matter. So
Even a pony, maybe. I mean, Aaron and I have been,
Scott will probably bring him a pony or a rocket. Who knows?
I mean, Aaron and I have been talking about these really cool things that we were thinking about giving kids these days: ponies, rockets, poop knives, whatever.
Fireworks.
Fireworks is a good one.
Kids love fireworks.
Yeah. Compliment to Talking Beards. You know, it's one of those things. What you imagine, you create.
Basically.
That's basically what it is. So, but yeah, so this past weekend we were together again. We had so much fun.
Yeah, we did. So we were in Keller, Texas this last weekend, Saturday, and we
holidays.
Yeah, we were all hanging out. It was super crazy. You, me, Andrew, Natalie, then everyone else.
Everyone.
Not in Kira though. She was too good floating out in the ocean somewhere. Summer was probably there, Good old Summer Hobbler. She was emceeing Harry Holidays this last weekend, not upcoming. Oh no.
No, it was last weekend.
This was last weekend, and that's where we were. We were all in the Poor Shack, Scott Secor, and it was a good time, man. It was an extremely good event. She sent me the number total. There's like $3,500.
That was a good total. I mean, I know a lot of it was cash that was made at the event, which that was really cool, but there was also a lot of PayPal donations leading up to the event and everything. So yeah, it was a little over $3,500 that they raised, and congratulations to Summer and everyone that involved. Yeah, she wrote in there. We did miss and care, of course, but we were so grateful that the rest of us all made it out. Yes.
Well, here we go. Angie Jones is here.
That's Angie.
Angie. Oh, she's mad.
Uh-oh.
Mad Jones. She's Angie.
Angie. Right. I'm very Angie.
Jeff Harris is here.
Yep.
He must be standing on some sort of box or something so he could get up there and type on the keyboard.
He's like,
I wish they wouldn't put this keyboard up on the top shelf. Poor Jeff Harris. Anyway, But yeah, I was at that event. Now I'm in Orlando. That's pretty much my extent of the week.
Yeah, and I got back to Austin on Saturday, and nothing exciting. I've been working down in San Antonio all week, and I really have nothing to report. A lot of excitement going on in the beard world, but we are winding down into the end of the year right now, and there are not a whole lot of competitions going on right now, but we want you guys to go over to our YouTube page and look for this, our December beard calendar, brought to you by thebeardcalendar.com. If you're looking for any type of beard competitions going on, make sure you go over to thebeardcalendar.com. It's going to have everything you need for every competition that we know about that's been submitted to us or we've found. If you have one that you want to submit to us, make sure you click on the little button at the bottom of the screen there, and it'll give you a little pop-up and it'll give you stuff to fill out. So if you have a comp that you want to share with us, that's great. And then at the end of the month, like we did right here, we do a one long video talking about all the different competitions that are going on at the end of the month. And you can find that over at our Talking Beards YouTube page.
Yeah, we got all kinds of cool stuff on our YouTube page. Scott has been making all these really nice little Canva art pieces and chopping up all the videos all good and nice. And I think YouTube likes that. I think they like those videos a lot more than these lives. So maybe we're probably about to be YouTube famous. We're going to have so many YouTube followers. It's going to be wild.
We're just trying to get a lot of content out there. And I mean, we have over 5 years of content building up, and I can go back to a lot of it and pulling stuff out and kind of go back over some of the things that we've talked about and gone over in the past few years in the beard community. Because as we're learning day by day, there's a lot of new people. And even this past weekend, we met a lot of people that were brand new, who never competed before, who learned by seeing a video or something or learning about it from thebeardcalendar.com and learning about these events and showing up. And, we've created new monsters, we'll put it that way, that are involved in the bearding community. But speaking of online stuff, now this is the perfect time to bring our guests in because they're going to be hosting.
Look at that
online
transition.
I'm transition guy, dude. Are you there?
Hey, I thought you were I thought you just had more to say. Yeah, he's the transition dude. So we're going to transition from talking about online competitions that's been happening to online competitions that will be coming up, in a few weeks. So let's just get into this. Are you ready, Scott Sikora?
Let's get into this now, Aaron.
All right. Tonight, we have from he's the creator of MoustacheParlour.com. He's basically the beard maker to the stars. That's what all the kids say.
Don't they burn up though?
I don't know. We'll have to find out how Ron Wolek makes these beards that don't get burned up when they touch stars, because stars are hot. But yeah, you've seen the Woleks famous beard championships down there in Key West, and upcoming we have the holiday beard contest that's online, and a subcategory, the All-American Santa Claus contest. This dude's always doing stuff. Let's just dive into this and figure out who he is. Mr. Ron.
He's Ron.
How you doing?
Good. How are you guys tonight?
We're doing fantastic. Better now that you're here.
Yeah. Okay, the big burning question everyone has. Which one is Ron?
Oh, we
see, notice how they both don't, neither of them jump at that one.
They don't know who Ron is.
Well, we have the same initials but different middle names. So
you're not a senior and a junior.
Not technically, no.
Not technically.
Technically, they're not.
So what you
should do, number 2.
So number 2, you should change your middle name to his middle name, and then you could be the first, and then make him the junior, and then we just throw everybody off.
Aaron, stop! You're making it way too confusing now.
I don't know. I liked it. It's like
I'd be glad to be a kid again.
Yeah. Absolutely.
See, Aaron was doing this mantra that he lives by. If you can imagine it, you can create it.
Yeah, this is what I live by. I have to make sure that they put this in every hotel room that I'm going to stay in. It's a long process, but every hotel room I stay in, this has to be surgically implanted on every wall.
What you imagine, you create.
But is it good?
But I mean, not to be joking around, but that statement is really true. I mean, with what you guys have done and accomplished over your lifetimes, I mean, you guys imagined something and you guys created it. Now, that is the true epitome of the American dream right there, right?
Yeah, right.
It's true. That's what it's all about.
So tell us what it is all about.
Well, speaking of that part, we're a third generation American hairstylist. So, where do you want me to start? Just a little bit about me, I guess?
Yes. Well, start from the beginning, like past birth and school and stuff like that.
Yeah, we don't.
Well, that actually is a good way to start, because me and Aaron have a friend in common that starts at the beginning. I was born in Syracuse, New York. That's where my family's business was. And my grandfather had a mustache club in the early 40s and early 50s. Late 40s, early 50s,
He already had
a little bit in the middle of the 40s.
And he already had a beard club.
Yes, it was Mustache Beard Club, and it was popular enough that people reported about it in the newspaper in Syracuse. So that's how we know most of the information about it. But my mom got a really cool job down at Disney World for being a hair and makeup artist, and she rose through the ranks and became a designer and department head. And I was kind of her guinea pig, and I loved it too. Talk about imagining and created. My dream was to become an animator at Disney World, but when I graduated high school, Toy Story 2 was already on its way out, so you couldn't really be a traditional artist too much anymore in animation. I think Disney actually had a short period where they shut down traditional animation, and Princess and the Frog, I think, was the last one. And what you're looking at right now is my grandfather's bar back in the 50s, and that article is about the Mustache Club.
Hank's Mustache Club.
I needed a job where I could be creative and talk to people. I originally signed up to be a graphic designer and a web person and went to college for that. But computers didn't talk back to you in those days. Now if maybe with Siri is around, I probably would have stuck with it. So I became a hair and makeup artist, and actually I loved it, and I was proud to take on what my mom and my grandmother and my grandfather started. Lived out in Los Angeles and worked with movie stars, and always had a focus on beards and mustaches, and that's led me to create Santa Claus beards and mustaches. So I started MoustacheParlour.com, which is one of the world's largest place for faux or fake beards and mustaches in the world. We do a lot of custom work, and particularly famous for Santa Claus beards, and also a lot of other things. For example, we worked on Santa Stole My Dog, which is a really unique film that stars Ronald Reagan's last dog. So Ronald Reagan's last dog turned out to be a brilliant actor. He's got about 8 or 10 films, and one of them is Santa Stole My Dog, and which stars Ed Asner. And I was fortunate enough to work with him on one of his last Santa Claus beards. Ed Asner had a whole side career where he did a lot of Santa Claus movies, including Elf, and they actually put him into the Santa Claus Hall of Fame based on his Santa Claus performances.
Yeah, I totally forgot that he actually played Santa Claus in Elf until you just said that. I was just like, oh, that's right. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, but yeah.
Yeah, actually, I got his beard right behind me if you want to see it.
Absolutely.
Oh, my. Serious, Clark?
Dad, would you pass me the white box?
So
when you work on films and TV shows, you make always a double. This was never used, but I made it for Mr. Asner.
What movie would this have been for?
Santa Stole My Dog,
So
which is a great movie. Dog accidentally gets into Santa Claus's bag of presents. He takes him back to the North Pole. Family's got to find him, and they're very upset with Santa Claus because he won't answer their letters or something like that, and they really want their dog back. But it turns out there's a nice environmental message at the end that it saves the world in the North Pole. So fortunately, Santa stole a dog that could save the world. And this is actually made out of yak hair, which is very nice source for replicating whiskers. The texture is a little bit more coarse, like a real whisker. And it's the favorite for film and television beard and makeup people like myself. And Santa Claus is too. It's a very popular source of hair for that.
So why would you not just use regular head hair? What's the difference between the two?
Well, like for instance, this one is human hair, and you see the density is a little sparse. So I like human hair sometimes too, but the texture of the hair is a lot like what you would have when you grow on your head. Mm-hmm. And what is on your face never usually matches what's on the top of your head. But it is good for, like, this is obviously some kind of bluesy, hobo guy. And for facial hair, like for sideburns, sometimes I'll use it, human hair, because it's not as thick and dense. And when you're making hair pieces, sometimes less is more for it to be believable. But for a big white Santa Claus beard, like especially American style, yak is the most popular, particularly because there's a national problem where adults and children like to pull on Santa Claus beards.
It's that gosh darn movie. That movie ruined it for everyone.
That movie ruined everything.
So the best repellent of Santa Claus beard pullers is a disgusting beard made out of hair from the back of a yak.
Oh, I was going to say
as soon as someone comes in contact with yak hair, they immediately get repulsed and do not pull on your beard.
Yeah, but what about the person wearing it?
Exactly what I was about to ask. What about the person wearing it? Are they just repulsive themselves the whole time?
I started out not using yak hair because it repulsed me styling it. It's not my favorite.
but then you had to get over it.
Yes. And so they started requesting it. And that's why I came to understand why they like it. I guess the fear of having your beard pulled is overcomes the uncomfortable smell of yak hair on your face.
So one of our listeners wants to know, how do you guys attach the hair to the face?
Oh, there's a couple different ways. The most uncomfortable way is to use spirit gum or any kind of adhesive meant for hair pieces. There's silicone. There's a spirit gum is like a tree sap and medical adhesive, and it will. A lot of people like it because once it's attached to your face, it moves like a real beard. It feels like it's part of you.
Wow.
There's also two-way tape. It's called beard tape. That is more comfortable. That's what I recommend my clients to use because they don't have to go through a lot of the cleaning of the spirit gum off your face and your hairpiece. It's kind of uncomfortable. For film and television, though, that's what we do because we never want it to fall off when the camera's on.
So that's probably kind of like toupee tape.
Correct. It's the same kind, but you don't want to use toupee tape because toupees are meant to stay on your scalp, like on a roller coaster or something. Your scalp is a lot more tougher part of your epidermis, which is a very fancy scientific word
For skin.
I learned in cosmetology school for your skin. And the skin on your chin is a lot more delicate. You don't really want to pull on it because you could advance the aging of your wrinkles and droopy jowls.
That's what Aaron's problem is. He pulls on his chin all the time. He's got droopy jowls.
I've got droopy jowls because I always pull on my chin.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of whiskerinas.
However, the beard tape also makes great boob tape, so you could give yourself a facelift that way too.
Oh my!
On my boobs?
Yeah.
What? Well, I know a lot of whiskerinas that use that toupee tape, and it seems to work pretty well.
On their boobs?
Yeah.
No, on their facial hair, but maybe their boobs too. I don't know. I don't know.
They make a lot of varieties for it. People call it toupee tape, kind of like how we call cotton swabs Q-tips. Just make sure you don't get the one that's supposed to go on your scalp.
Yeah, just like
I never use the Q-tips that are supposed to go on my scalp. I was never used those.
You know?
Just like I said, chapstick earlier. Not
chapstick. Well, it's lip balm.
Lip balm.
Lip balm. All the balms.
Another way that you can wear the beard is with an elastic strap, but commonly you would wear a wig over it to hide the strap. Or if you have long hair, you can use your hair to cover the strap.
So would they even do that strappy thing in like a movie?
Yeah. A lot of times for theater, it's just more comfortable.
Yeah, and it's easy to take on and off, probably. A lot easier than having to deal with spirit gum or toupee tape or double-sided tape. You can just throw it on, throw a wig on or a hat, and you could carry a beard around in your purse if you wanted to, and you just throw it on. Yep. Yeah,
it to me, sometimes it moves a little bit more natural, and you can pull it tight against your skin so it looks, it actually is very... very conceivable that you would have a beard and not a strap. But the mustaches, though, I think you really need some type of adhesive to really keep it on because there's so much movement on the top of your upper lip. And but a lot of people use the toupee tape on their mustache too and are very happy with it and don't have a lot of problems. So you have to really consider how long you're going to be in front of the public for the situation and what kind of adhesive you want, you know? So
we've had Christine Hackman on here a few times. She's a good friend of the show. Do you all, have y'all ever interacted very much? It seems like y'all are kind of in the same industry making facial hair for the stars and whatnot.
Yes, we are colleagues, and the men and women in Vancouver in the hair and makeup industry are top notch. Canada really has phenomenal training for hair and makeup artists. They have, I think that Christine teaches at one of the top film schools in the country, which is also in Vancouver. My mother herself, actually, she studied in Toronto, Canada, under a school that became very famous that was later bought by a gentleman named Martin Parsons, who is an incredible hair and makeup artist, and I trained with him too. The attention to detail that they have is just incredible. And Christine's one of the most creative hair and makeup artists I've ever gotten a chance to really get to know. And through the Vancouver Facial Hair Club is where I met her. And MoustacheParlour.com.
There you go.
That's how they called MoustacheParlour.com to find out if it was a real place. I happened to be on a movie set that day in the middle of a swamp in Florida. And that is how it all started.
That's it. That's how y'all
conversation over the phone in a swamp.
Easy. And then, so we were talking about this before the show. You and I've never really interacted, but our circles are close. And Christine Hackman messaged you one day and said, "Hey, if you want to do this beard competition stuff a little bit more, reach out to this Aaron guy. He knows a little bit about it." And I was with Christine Hackman in Canada in her car, and then you texted me. So it's like, it's just
crazy.
That
was kind of cosmic. And she had sent me that message maybe a month or 5 or 6 weeks prior to that.
And so you're like, this is the perfect time that I need to text him. He's, he lives in South Carolina, but yet he's in Canada in Christine Hackman's backseat. And she was taking me to get donuts. So I said something to her earlier about that. I was like, so we went to your studio today and you had these cool signs up and it says, "Welcome Talking Beards." And it says, "Welcome Talking Beards" in French, I think. And I sent her those pictures. I was like, well, look what Ron did for me when we came to his place. You didn't make signs for us, but then she quickly reminded me that she bought me a mass amount of donuts. So I think, I don't know what's better, a cool sign or donuts. It was kind of a toss up there, but she didn't make us signs like you did. And we appreciate your signs.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we wanted to make you feel welcome. You're one of the first guests at the real MoustacheParlour.com. This is Captain Ron Wolek's headquarters here. This show's very first peek to get into seeing what all this is all about.
It was awesome. It was a cool tour today for sure.
Honest to goodness, I feel like just this little bit that we've already just touched upon, which I know unfortunately we don't have the amount of time and resources to really go into everything that you guys have done, because I'm sure there's tremendous amounts of stories of different people that you've worked with, and I'm sure there's even funny stories about how there was a mustache or a beard fail during some film shoot that became some big funny thing, or I'm sure there's 1,000 stories that we could get into, and I would love to at some point to get you guys back on here and maybe just do a straight up podcast episode with you and talk about the whole industry in itself, because I think there's so much in what you guys are doing that's just extremely fascinating. And the more you're talking, it's like, all right, I just want to keep talking about it, but I know we are here
about these online beard competitions.
Oh, yeah, concept.
Yeah. So we already had
to work.
Yeah, back to work here. So you've got this one coming up, the Woleks Famous Beard Championships, the Christmas edition, kind of, and then this is a subcategory of that. So these are two contests that you have coming up, and it's all in one, but it's got two different event pages. So tell us about these competitions and who you're raising money for.
Well, we're raising money for the St. Nicholas Institute in Detroit, Michigan. So the St. Nicholas Institute is a school for Santa Claus for people. They're trying to prevent a bad Santa situation to happen anywhere. And so people come there to learn about St. Nicholas, who inspired Santa Claus, and a little bit about the history about how that came about. Also, they learn a little bit about how to become a better Santa Claus performer. I usually get involved and teach people how to look like Santa Claus. And every Christmas, they have a fundraiser where they either give blankets to the homeless in Detroit or raise money for toys. And also just so that they can have an institute every year, which happens around in October. And so we thought there was not an institute this year. And me and my staff were talking about it. And we thought, why don't we just did a contest in Key West? Why don't we do one again? It'll be fun. It'll be Christmas time. Maybe we can raise some money for the St. Nicholas Institute. And that's what we put forward. So I have a few Santa Clauses within my following. But we didn't want to make it exclusive just to Santa Claus. So we wanted to make a holiday beard decorating contest. And then there's also what we're calling the Three Kings beard and mustache contest, which those categories are more like a traditional beard competition, except for it's all styled. So you don't have to have a white beard. You can have whatever beard you have, or a mustache, or partial hair pieces. And then we just want to see them styled like royally. And
so will this be the same online contest that you're running for Christmas?
They are all categories within the contest. And then there's also a beard decorating contest, and there's also a couple Whiskerina subcategories. I should call them categories, shouldn't I, instead of different separate contests. So there's the styled beard and mustache contest, which is for groomed and styled mustaches and beards and partial hair pieces. There's the beard decorating contest, where you could just do whatever you want to your beard, decorate it like a Christmas tree. There is a Krampus category, where we want to see crazy, gnarly beards and hair that hasn't been kept well. And in order to qualify this category, you have to show your tongue in the photo, because the Krampus was known about his tongue, and it did all kinds of crazy magical Christmas things. And it's very appropriate because he was a helper of St. Nicholas. In a lot of traditions for St. Nicholas, he had a helper because he was a very nice guy. So he had to have, in this case, it was the Krampus who dealt with the naughty children. So you will not qualify for the Krampus category unless you show your tongue.
There you go.
That's funny.
Now, there is a big subcategory that we're calling the All-American Santa Claus category. And there's multiple categories in that. The Real Bearded Santa Claus category is for a traditional beard mustache contest. What you do is you submit your photo, and then we are going to take your the measurements that you send us and put you in your own subcategory. So if your beard is under 3 inches, you will only compete with the Santa Claus beards who are 3 inches. Now, this is very important, is that you do not have to be a professional Santa Claus to enter into this category. This is for men with white beards or gray beards. There were many Santa Clauses that had gray beards, so you can enter into this category. Like, for instance, Kurt Russell. And then there is a category for Santa Clauses who wear wigs and beards and hair pieces, which we call the theatrical bearded contest. That will have subcategories within it. So if you are someone with an awesome Santa Claus wig set, maybe it doesn't have this fancy lace, or it even hasn't yak or anything, there will be a subcategory for the traditional Santa Clauses that we know and love, that have the strap and crazy long beards made of synthetic fibers and human hair fibers. It doesn't even matter. And that is dedicated to Charles Howard. That's the name of the category. He was one of the most famous traditional Santa Clauses that we remember at a mall or growing up. And then there's also
lace.
With or without lace. Yes. And then we will break you up into the subcategories from that. There's a category if you dress up like St. Nicholas. That's more of a costume category. And then there is a category for the Sinterklaas, which is the Dutch version of Santa Claus. If you have an incredibly long beard, enter into the Real Bearded category, because you will be put in the subcategory for Russian and Finnish Santa Clauses. If you have a beard that you don't have to style, you don't even have to have a handlebar mustache, you will be put in the Thomas Nast category in the Real Bearded Santa Claus contest.
I had no idea there was this so many subcategories of Santa beards. Like this is amazing. Like I'm looking through this whole list and everything going along with what you're saying. It's just, this is crazy. I had no idea. Sorry, go ahead.
If you want to know more about the subcategories, you can go to mustacheparlor.com/
you can
beard
do it.
Contest.
Okay. So all this lives, like all this information is all on mustacheparlor.com. And from there you can get to the Jot Form link. And then that's where you buy your ticket per category and stuff. Is that correct?
Yes. And so here's the fun part. is you have until Christmas Eve to send us your picture. Just sign up now. Don't worry about taking a picture. We will reply back. I have somebody in my office that's going to be maintaining this, and with instructions. It's basically where your subcategory is and when to send us a picture. Because we have 3 great judges. I'm not going to be judging it because I want this contest to be very unbiased. I'm hoping a lot of my clientele will enter into the Santa Claus category. And I want people who have Santa Claus beards from all over the world to enter, because the true purpose is to raise money for the St. Nicholas Institute. And so if you've got a beard and mustache that was made from someone from China, from Italy, Switzerland, there's a great place in Kentucky that makes beards and mustaches, feel free to enter. I'm not going to be judging. I'm just organizing the contest and hoping to give a nice little donation to the St. Nicholas Institute.
So as I'm kind of searching through the website, I found this fun little thing that I just wanted to share with everyone. It's the Santa beard collection. So right here is a whole bunch of different pre-made beards that you guys have done. I'm assuming these ones come with wigs too, and different prices and stuff like that. So if by some chance you are a Santa that can't grow their own beard and who's really interested in accessorizing to make themselves an even better Santa, this is definitely the place to go to get all your different Santa needs, for sure. This is just insane. I didn't have any idea that the stuff like this existed. This is just terrific.
It's amazing. It's super cool. And you do all this stuff, and I just super talented. I just unbelievable.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah. So, your judges for this contest.
Yes. The judges, I'll elaborate. We have East Coast and West Coast judges. So I'm really proud to announce that a very good colleague of mine who worked on the West Coast, who is a journeyman member of the Hollywood Hair and Makeup Guild, and he's worked on lots of famous animatronic beards and mustaches, if you get my hint. Will be one of our judges. And we have a very talented lady who is her counterpart on the East Coast, who will be another one of our judges. Plus one of the department heads from Walt Disney World and several opera companies will be one of our judges. But our most important judge, if you've ever want your beard and mustache to be looked at by a fine-tooth comb by an award-winning Hall of Fame Santa Claus himself, the man who runs the St. Nicholas Institute, Mr. Father Joseph Marquise, but his real name is Santa Claus. After he gets home from delivering presents on Christmas Eve, that's why the deadline is there, we are going to send him all of your pictures, and he will be our tiebreaker. Pretty cool, huh?
He's going to let everyone know whose beard is naughty and nice, Aaron.
Oh, he'll already know. I mean, I think he can pretty well judge it without even having to look at the pictures. But I'm sure he'll still look at the pictures because that's what he's supposed to do. But he already knows.
He's going to put coal in your beard this year, Aaron.
Probably.
He's going to rub it all over your face and be like, Aaron D. Johnston, you're so dumb. And then he's going to smash coal in your face.
That's usually how that works. Santa's shove coal in your face when you're bad.
It's what you imagine, Aaron.
That's a super aggressive Santa, Scott.
Well, it's what you imagine. It's what you imagine.
It's what you imagine.
You created
that, Scott. You created that. So we posted something up here a second ago. What was that guy's name? Tom. He's posted. Post that one too. Look at that. You got
Jesse Brown says, I'm fan bearding so hard. I'd love to apprentice or work for you, Ron. See, we were just talking about this before the show about what the salary. I mean, we're ballpark around $1 million a year or something.
Millions just to apprentice for him.
Yeah,
that's how much it is. That's how amazing he is.
That's how much you have to pay him to work with him.
Yeah, just wrong.
It's not a bad idea. A lot of my students have awards. That's what I used to do, is teach in Hollywood. Fortunately, the pandemic closed the school I was working at. And I'd be happy to take on more apprentices.
Well, there you go. So if you're super serious about that, Jesse, you can probably reach out to Ron and went through his social media or something, and he'll probably contact you. But we got this one as well.
Now, I should probably say what people can win, right?
Oh, that's why you're a professional. What can you win if you win this?
Well, you will get a trophy if you win.
Oh my!
You want to hold
I
that?
like that trophy.
And everybody who submits, that's why you got to pay a little bit for postage. Postage went up about $2. It's kind of annoying. Everybody gets a certificate.
Holy cow!
Signed by Santa Claus with your rank into the contest. So Santa Claus will do. It's not just going to be first, third, fourth place. We will rank everybody as you came in and into the contest, and Santa Claus himself will insert it right there with his special St. Nicholas Institute stamp.
That's professional.
That's a pretty cool souvenir itself.
Super cool,
He's a
man.
legit Hall of Fame. He won an Emmy for singing as Santa Claus with the Four Tops in the Motown Christmas special.
Holy
and
cow.
This man also was, at one time, there was the Macy's parade. There was also a parade on Thanksgiving in Detroit on Thanksgiving too. And this was the Santa Claus who was in it until the parade closed down.
And now he's going to judge your facial hair.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for you. One of our fans in the chat room asks a really ridiculous question, and then just don't laugh. Need a whaler Santa. I mean, what's your thoughts on Santa not having a mustache?
Don't
think too hard about it.
I think there's yes, he does exist in Iceland. There are about 9 Santa Clauses in Iceland who have particular jobs, and they visit on particular nights. And I'm almost certain one of them doesn't have a mustache in one of the ways that they're depicted. And
that's a perfect place for a whaler Santa to be, all the way in Iceland.
Yeah, I think you drank too much eggnog tonight.
As far away from everyone else as you can is where the whaler Santa belongs, for sure.
Yeah, and you really need to be nice, because those Santas will take you and bring you up to this troll someplace on a mountain and put you in a pot, and then the troll eats you. And this cauldron exists. I'd like to go one day.
See, look at Jesse got excited.
Been to the one in Finland, which is since it's holidays, there's a small debate where the North Pole is. It could be in Finland, it could be in Canada, it could be in the United States, it could be in Russia.
It's in Canada. Everybody knows that.
I think so.
The Canadian Santas are the best.
Christine Hackman told me it was in Canada, and I believe everything she says.
Canada usually takes stuff that nobody wants and makes something beautiful out of it. So I would believe that it's in Canada.
Hockey.
Well, that's different. We took hockey away from them, and now we have, I don't know. I don't even know where that was going. Hockey's stupid.
Shut up, Aaron.
I was going to say we turned it into soccer, but we didn't do that either. I don't know.
Wow, we have so many great people in the chat room tonight. We even have Greg Anderson. He's a world famous photographer. We have so many awesome people involved in the show tonight. This is just
apparently great. The North Pole is a strip club in Vegas.
Oh,
that's what Greg Anderson
all the bad
says.
Santas must come from.
Wow.
So speaking of bad Santas, do you ever do any Santa stuff that isn't like a white beard? Have you ever done that, or white or gray? Like a Santa specific that you're like, all right, I'll make you a Santa beard, but it's brown and you're wrong.
I have a story. I wish I could have done that. I got to work on the have you ever seen the episode of the Stephen Colbert Show where he has kids come up with their own movie, and they had a Santa Claus versus a bad Santa, except for his name was spelled backwards. It was Atnaz. Well, Atnaz had a black beard. I got to make the traditional Santa one, but I wanted to do that one. But we do Santa beards of all different colors. There is a Santa Claus that used to be in Pennsylvania in the Pennsylvania Dutch called the Bursnickel. I think his name is the Bursnickel.
Okay.
And he has a brown beard, and he comes around and whips children before Santa comes.
This is crazy.
Not, some communities still have a bird's nickel, but not so much anymore because that's another thing that's interesting about the American Santa Claus. Coca-Cola did play a big part in commercializing it so people knew who he was. But the real reason I believe he became the standard of Santa Clauses because our Santa Claus, when he showed up, he just gave presents and a lump of coal. If you get the list of all the things the other traditional Santas were doing, it was kind of barbaric. And when people learned about that, they were like, oh, well, we want to show our children and not scare the bejesus out of them. Let's go with this Coca-Cola guy's Santa. And there's like a couple things we can be proud of in this country that's original. I think there's jazz and Santa Claus and, I don't know, cartoons maybe.
That's about it.
Yeah.
And Talking Beards podcast, we created that here in the United States all by ourselves.
Oh,
That's pretty much the most famous, wonderful thing that the United States has given the rest of the world is this podcast, I think.
Yes, we extinguished the Krampus, the Burznickel, and a lot of other crazy things that were happening to the poor kids.
I like that
the Iceland guy that was feeding bad kids to the troll mother.
I mean, it's a good way to keep your kids in line, I guess.
Yeah,
it probably was. They were. What was the old saying? They were seen and not heard back in those days.
Yeah, because if they were heard, they were fed to trolls. So they just shut up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So that's basically that. You know, as Scott said, we could just go on and on with you, and I knew that's the way this episode was going to go. You're just full of all these amazing stories. But most importantly, we're wanting to direct people's attention to your online competitions. And, you know, are you got any more competitions coming up? Do you have anything else planned live and in person for next year?
Yes, we're working on replicating the 70th anniversary of my grandfather's beard and mustache contest in Syracuse, New York, which we're going to be donating the funds to help raise money for a roof for the Polish Community Center.
That's awesome.
We'll have more details about that and great partners.
Yeah, so we've already got a tentative date, I think, on that on the calendar. It's still kind of, you know, I just wanted to get it out there so people somewhat knew about it. But obviously, once you get a date locked in and we get some more news and information about that one, I'll get the event page posted up on the beer calendar. And if you're in the Syracuse, New York area, you could, you know, there's going to be a beer competition coming your way. So Matt McClear, we're looking at you. I know you're up in that part of the world and you always say how there's no beer competitions in New York. Well, buddy, there's one coming your way in April, I think, right? April, March, somewhere in there.
Yeah, we're solid on April 8th. We just haven't locked down the location.
Well, there you go. April 8th, Syracuse, New York. What about that Key West one? Are you going to do the Key West event again?
Yeah, that'll be on Monday, October 23rd again this year. That is the Fantasy Fest Beard Contest, Woleks Famous Beard Championship. That's a beard mustache contest, and we also have a fantasy element to it where you can create a beard out of anything and show up with it, and we'll let you in. We had a very good year this year. We had this veteran that showed up with the most insane beard that we've ever seen. It was his whiskers were all wrapped up in the little balls, and it goes on and on. Anyway, he showed up Desperado style right in the middle of judging. He won the judges award, and then he kind of left, and we never found out the man's name. So we'd like to get his certificate to him somehow. So if anybody knows a veteran in Key West with a very distinct beard of 4 small balls wrapped up in from whiskers that hang from his chin.
Do we have pictures?
Yes, we would be happy to send you the pictures of the guy.
Yes.
Send us those pictures so we can post these things.
Yeah, we'll get some pictures posted up and see if anyone even can help us out with identifying this perpetrator.
We would love it because we'd love to give him his certificate.
Well, Ron, I'm glad that we were able to have you on tonight. And
Ron, I'm glad we could have you on tonight too.
Both Rons. All the Rons tonight. People have seen the Ron's famous beard championship stuff, and people didn't know who this Ron was. And now there's a face or faces to the Rons. And I look forward to working with you and helping you spread all the information about all these competitions you have coming up. And I don't know, I'm super excited about working with you. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for all your help and support. And we hope that we can give a nice little chunk of change to the St. Nicholas Institute this year. Santa Claus will be very happy. There'll be no coal in Aaron's beard.
I hope so. Come on, everybody. Raise a bunch of money so I can buy my way out of this coal disaster that Scott's got me in. And one last thing. Did you see this, Ron? Lindsay said Syracuse with a bunch of exclamation points. That's right, Lindsay. Me and Ron both will be in Syracuse, so you have no choice but to come work for Ron. That's you have no other option.
We're gonna trap Lindsay Searles.
That's right. Just stick her in the car and just take her to Orlando with you. She'll be fine.
It's not the worst place we could have taken her.
I like it here.
Hi, Lindsay.
All right, Rons. Well, thank you for stopping by and letting us know about all this stuff you have coming up. And man, we're probably just gonna have you on again because you're just a wealth of knowledge. So maybe,
thank you.
Maybe next time we'll have something else to talk about. Maybe like the Easter one or whatever. But thank you guys. Check out what is it? TheMustacheParlor.com, and all the news and information is over there about all the competitions.
Yes, and I do want to say I use Honest Amish soap, and I smell really good today.
Wow.
You do. I can test. I was there. I smelled him. He smelled great. All right. Well, thank you guys. And, check out TheMustacheParlor.com for all the news and information. What's up, Scott? I knew that was going to go streaming. I knew that was going to go well.
I had to save this till we got them off because I knew that this would probably work into a complete. I know we're running close on time here, but
it's fine.
I was going through the website and I came across this and I just was like, it speaks for itself.
Oh yeah,
the Merkin department.
You get a Merkin, Scott. I think what he told me was those are kind of designed to keep Hollywood movies out of like a NC-17 or X rating, and it covers up areas in the area. I'm wearing a Merkin right now. It's pretty comfy.
I always wear a Merkin every time I do the show.
Well, see, we never even talked about that, but yet we're both wearing Merkins for the show. This is amazing. That's why we're best friends.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up at the very end, because I thought that we could end on a high note. But I figured if we had Ron and Ron here talking about Merkins, we probably would have been talking about Merkins for like the next 45 minutes.
Probably, but that's okay. Well, it gives us an opportunity to have the Rons back some other time. But
just like what Merkin you imagine is the Merkin you create.
Well, what you Merkin, you create.
Or what
if you imagine a Merkin. Yeah. See? Gosh. So good.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Christina Hackman says Merkins are designed to cover off syphilis sores and to make underage prostitutes look older. True story.
Christine Hackman, everyone. You can reach her at ChristineAHackman@yahoo.com, maybe. And, just reach out to her and tell her how much you loved that tidbit of information.
Wow.
Is that it? We're done?
I think now we're going to change the name of the show to Talking Merkins.
Talking Merkins. That'll be on Wednesday nights. That'll be the Talking Merkins show. But, that's pretty much it. We like to thank our guests, the Rons. Would say junior and senior Wolek, but no, they're not junior and senior. They're just both Ron Woleks. They're not even junior and senior. This is craziness. But I'm Aaron D. Johnston. Thank you for watching. It was a very informative and, successful episode tonight. What do you think, Scott?
It was great. And I swear, like, I definitely want to hit them back up and learn some more things about the whole, the whole Santa side of it's really interesting.
I was incredibly interested in that. Like, I had no idea there was all these subcategories of Santas and stuff. That's cool stuff, man.
Well, and as we're like talking to him and we're learning about it, and I'm like, oh, you know what? This is just fits so perfect in the whole Christmas theme time of year, and us not even like, I mean, we were just pretty much here to promote their online beard competition, not realizing how Santa heavy and Christmas oriented it is, and you know, and who they were doing it for and all that stuff. So, I mean, that made it even more special and more, you know, tied into the time of year and all that stuff, which is really cool. But just talking to him, I know there's like 1,000 more stories that are not Christmas related that, I mean, even when you start talking about like movies and movie sets and celebrities
and
Merkins, you know, I mean, there's so many things that you want to hear.
That's it.
Merkin Talks.
So, yeah, that's pretty much it, Scott.
Yeah. So anyways, everyone, make sure you guys go over and follow us on all our social media, especially YouTube. Go over and subscribe and follow us on YouTube. We got tons of great content coming out. Some new videos are going to be popping up over the next few weeks. We're taking a bunch of older stuff and repurposing it and getting it ready. But also, if you guys are interested, you can go over to talkingbeards.com, and everything else that you possibly want to know or want about us is over there. So,
and we may have a Christmas episode coming up. We might do that. I'm going to keep it with Mike, but you know, in the last couple of years, we've done the top 10 things you can buy for people for Christmas or whatever.
Oh yeah,
we might do that. Maybe.
I think we should. I mean, everyone let us know. Just that's what you want to hear. I mean,
leave it in the comments and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But that's it. Thank you everybody for watching, and everybody that helps us with this show all year. We appreciate it. It's, you know, we don't really know what we're doing, but you know, people help us look less like we don't know what we're doing or something like that.
And we definitely appreciate all the new people that we meet, just like this past weekend, all these new people that we met that at their first beard competition or their second one, and a friend told them about it, or they saw something online.
Or they just saw it on the beardcalendar.com. Yep. That's it. So everybody have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Okay, bye.
Merkin for Jesus.
Merkins for life.
Thanks for tuning in to Talking Beards. Make sure you go over to honestamish.com and use promo code TalkingBeards to get 15% off your order. Don't forget to tune in live next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern at talkingbeards.com.